everybody, welcome to Erndale's. I'm in the kitchen today and I am making some rhubarb strawberry jam. I had froze my rhubarb last summer because I had a broken shoulder and I couldn't really do a whole lot. So I managed to cut it all up and put it in the freezer, and with the idea that I would make jam sometime during the winter time. Well, I completely forgot about it till now. And I thought, oh, you know, June is not that far away and I'm going to have a whole bunch more rhubarb, so I better get making jam. So I just got this to the boil now. So I froze it in 4-cup packages. So I took out 2. I think I still have 3 or 4 more, which I might make some more jam. But the recipe that I use calls for 4 cups. No, it does not. Wrong one. It calls for 5 cups of diced rhubarb, 6 cups of sugar, 1 cup of drained crushed pineapple, and a box of strawberry Jello. I've made this for several years and it's really, really nice. It's sweet, but it has a bit of a tang to it. So I took out 2 packages of 4 cups, which is 8 cups. And then I decided, instead of taking out another packages and splitting it in half, that I would throw in 2 cups of strawberries. So that's what I did. So it's going to have maybe a little bit more strawberry flavor than it has had before, which is fine. So you bring your sugar and your fruit to a boil, and then you cook it for 15 minutes, and that's where we're at now. I just set the timer, and I'm cooking it for 15 minutes. But I wanted to tell you about this cookbook that I'm using. This book, I'll show you the cover here. I don't know if you can hear the banging. Gary's putting down a laminate floor, so hopefully you can't hear that. This is the book that I'm using, The Mennonite Treasury of Recipes. I got this book from a patient when I was working at on the post-polio floor back in 1970, I think 6. It was my first job after I graduated as a registered nurse. And this book, one of the patients, Menno Brown was his name, he gave this to me for Christmas. And he gave me, well, actually, all the patients gave the staff Christmas presents every year. But Menno always gave the best presents. He gave me this one year. He gave me a clock radio one year. He gave me, you know, the old steam roller sets. He gave me one of those one year. He gave really nice gifts, and he gave gifts like that to everybody. So I just want to step in here. I was editing this video, and I just want to explain that I'm saying that these people bought these expensive gifts for people. They never left that building. They hadn't left it in 20-some years, 30-some years. They had no way of going shopping. They couldn't order anything online. So for these patients who either lived in an iron lung or on a rocking bed or both, never got out of their room, actually, even, for them to give these kind of gifts was really something. Now, I know for a fact that Menno had a sister, and he must have given his poor sister a really long, long list. And she would bring this stuff. She would buy it for him, I think, and wrap it up and bring it, and he gave it away. And as I say, when he gave it to you, somebody, one of the other nurses, would put it on his table because he couldn't move. You know, these people were totally paralyzed. So somebody, because I know he asked me to do it for another nurse, he would say, go in that closet and get that and put it there. And then because he knew that nurse, a different nurse, would be coming in. And so when she would walk in, he'd say, oh, I have a gift for you. Here's your gift, without moving. The only thing that moved was his mouth and his eyes. So yeah, it meant so much more because you know, and you knew how much they went through to get that gift to you and how much it meant to them to do that for you. So I just wanted to explain that. So the post-polio floor that I worked on, the patients there had been victims of the post-polio or the polio epidemic in, I think it was 1953. And most of them were young adults when they got polio. Let me stir. And they had been in that hospital, on that floor since 1953. Now these people all were completely paralyzed from the neck down, as well as their lungs were paralyzed. They couldn't breathe on their own. So they slept in an iron lung at night, and during the day we took them out of the iron lung, we put them on a rocking bed, and they were on the rocking bed all day long until evening when they went back into the iron lung. And I was a little bit of a thing. I'm short. I'm only 5'1", maybe, and a little thing. And I always had the bottom when we did these lifts. And these people, even though some of them weren't that heavy, as in they weren't overweight, they were, excuse my term, dead weight. They were very heavy to lift. So what we would do, I don't know if you know what an iron lung is, but it's like a great big giant tin can, and the patient's body is in the tin can and their head is out of the tin can. And also when you go up to the iron lung, all you see is their head. There's a big rubber collar around them that keeps the air from escaping, and there's a bellows on the back of the bellows on the back of the tin can that does the breathing for them. When the bellow goes down, it brings their chest cavity up, and when it goes in, it compresses it. So this is what makes them breathe. Otherwise they would die. They wouldn't be able to breathe. So they slept in this at night, and then in the morning, we would take them out of there. So it required 2 people to take them out. The orderly usually took the top, and I usually took the bottom, the legs and the behind. And we had to slide them through that collar because they had to come through there first. And then we usually had to pivot with them and lift them up onto a rocking bed, a rocking bed is quite high. It's probably up to my breast. That's how high these beds were, because they had to tip all the way down and all the way up, so they were quite high. So little me had to lift this person then and do this, and I hurt my back really, really badly, and I was in traction for a couple of months because of this. And so as much as I liked working days and evenings, and I loved it, I had to go on to nights because I couldn't do the heavy lifting anymore. So I switched to nights, but I still worked that floor. But I worked that floor doing permanent nights for a year, I think, and then I became the night supervisor for the hospital that ward was in, and another hospital. So they were small hospitals, they were attached to. So I became the night supervisor for 2 buildings. And I didn't have as much contact with my patients then because I was doing a lot of, I had to go and do emergency things when they happened, and I had to, call the doctor on call, that kind of stuff. So, but I always went to relieve the staff, the nurse who was working with the polio patients. So I got to see them for that 1 hour when the staff was gone on their break, on their lunch. I got to be with them at night, and they knew when I was there, so they would call and I would chat. Just, the back really suffered, and I've suffered from back issues ever since then. Anyway, that's where I got this recipe from, and it's a really good one, and I can smell this strawberry rhubarb smell. It smells wonderful in here right now. So once this is cooked for 15 minutes, then I add I'll be adding 2 cups, because I doubled the recipe, I'll be adding 2 cups of this crushed pineapple, and I'll be adding 2 boxes of strawberry jello. And then I'll bring it to a boil again, and then I can put it in my jars and process this. So it's really a quick and fast recipe. And I'm really looking forward to having some jam again, because we ran out a long time ago. So besides this, today I finished one of my little socks, and I've stitched down my March block. And what else have I done? I've done a little bit on my hippie bag. Thank you for all the comments about the bag. It's pretty funny, you know, you forget that other people have gone through the same thing as you, but it's amazing how many people identified with that little story. And I got some good suggestions as how to make, if I can't find the rope for the shoulder part, I might macrame. But then I was thinking I should macrame myself a belt. I had macrameed myself a belt back then, and I wore that thing out. It was really great belt. And I think I know where I could get some macrame cord. It's coming back, macrame is. I've seen a lot of it, and there's every once in a while you'll see somebody like in the community here. One of the ladies had found some jute, some colored jute somewhere, and she was making hangers and selling them. And it kind of made me smile, because I used to do that too. Not sell them, but I made so many macrame, big pieces. And one of these days I'm going to show you, I might even do it on this one. I'm going to show you one of the big pieces that I did for my sister-in-law. Anyway, I got to look after this, and I'll be back to show you what this turns out like. Well, I got quite a bit of jam out of that. I'm just going to put it in my water bath now and can these or seal them. And I have another one for the fridge. I won't bother putting that in the water bath. We'll just eat that one first. So I'm quite happy with that. And if I want to make some more, I think I've still got enough for another batch like this. So that was a good thing. I have some to give to friends and family, and some for us to eat. It's wonderful. So I spent my day doing most of my seeds. So for tomatoes, I have Manitoba, Prairie Pride, Charlie's Red, and Super Sweet. Peppers, I have Sweet Belle, Sweet Sunset, and Sweet Peppers. I have Curly Dwarf Kale. I have broccoli. I have squash, scallop, little scallop squash, zucchini, butternut, spaghetti, and blue pumpkin. I have onions. They're way down there. Rutabaga. Herbs, I have anise, lemon balm, cinnamon, basil, sage, and parsley. And then for flowers, I have a full tray of perennials of unknown origin. It was just a package of mixed perennials. I have a full tray of calendula because I want to do some salves and things like that. Some flowers, I have red sun, giant Russian, and poquito. And then more flowers, I have painted tongues, I have echinacea, and broomcorn. I have yet to do my cucumbers. I don't have any cucumber seeds. And then everything else will be sown directly into the garden, such as lettuce, carrots, beets, chard, beans. What did I forget? Anyway, I'm very happy with today's work, and I am totally pooped. So I'm going to have a bath and take a book in and lay in the tub and read. My back is killing me. And then I'm going to relax for the rest of the day. So I'm going to zip up my little wonderful greenhouse that does a fantastic job with getting plants going. I've had this little greenhouse now for probably 8 years or so, and I've never had a problem with it, and I have very few failures. So it'll stay up here in the sun, and all I have to do is water and watch it grow. So a good day spent. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.